Hey, what's up, everybody in the YouTube world? Welcome to Ricky Tiki TV and podcast. This is the channel where I talk about living in Germany, music, and other stuff that I feel like is important at that moment in time. And I also, every so often, do some sort of product overview or something. Not really a review, but I guess you could say that. So, like I said, thanks for stopping in. In the past, if you're interested, I have done the Zakk Wylde Bullseye Epiphone review. It was like how to spot a fake. I've done how to make beats on the Yamaha Mach 6. And today, because I haven't really found many videos on YouTube on this, because when I got this mixer recorder, 24-track recorder, I really didn't, have that much information on it. So today I'm just going to go ahead and kind of show you guys how I use it to do what I do with it. And it's actually a great device because it records. It's an audio interface. It's portable, so it can do everything on its own, or you can hook it up to the computer and use it with your recording software. So without further ado, let's go ahead and cut scene to the R24 track recorder here. All right, so as you can see, you got different channels here, right? And this is going to be a basic overview, guys, so nothing too in-depth here, just a simple how to plug it in and use the motherfucker, okay? So I'm in a band. I'll do podcast stuff here, and I also do YouTube videos, and everything that I do goes through this. And it's really a reliable machine. Though I can't say too much about the preamps. I mean, I think they're good. The mic that I'm using now is going through the preamp there. But a solid piece of thing here. So, I can throw it in the car and bring it to the jam room downtown and hook up 6 or 7 mics to the drums and then leave one open for the guitar so we can record drums, and then I'll go back later and do another set of 8. And you got 24 tracks here, and I'll show you how that works. But let's go ahead and get into how it's being used as an audio interface right now. So basically what happens is you plug this USB cable into your computer, and it'll say, do you want to execute an audio interface type thing? So you click OK, and then it goes in. I don't know if you can see this screen here, but it goes into, and it says right here, audio interface mode, 44.1 gigahertz. And that's basically all I freaking know about it. And that's all you really need to know about it, okay? You don't really need to know a lot of tech specs and all that stuff. You just want to know how to plug this thing in and use it. So as far as that's concerned, when you plug this thing in the computer, you'll download the drivers for the R24 Zoom on the internet, and then in your audio interface program, you can set this as your sound card, because that's basically what this is. It's replacing the sound card on the computer. And then all the audio in this goes into the computer, and all the audio out of it goes out of this, okay? So it kind of takes over the sound card in the computer. And that's basically how that works as an audio interface. I mean, there's not much to it, okay? There's really not. You can hook some mics here if you want. I'm using a dynamic microphone. If you want to use a condenser microphone, you'll have to plug it into channel 5 or 6. Yeah, and then you flip this. This is a phantom power switch here. So you just flick that on, and then you'll have phantom power. And this right here, this little switch on channel 1 it's called the high Z switch, and basically it gives it more input, I guess, for when you want to plug in a guitar straight into it, like an electric guitar. And that's pretty much it for as far as that goes. And this little switch right here is the mic switch, and these things have built-in microphones here, and they're actually pretty nice. So you can set this up in the middle of a band room, flick this switch on, hit record, and then set the gain down because the band room's going to be quite loud, and then you'll get some decent audio just in here. That's it. So as far as the audio interface section of this goes, that's pretty much it. All these knobs, I use Logic Pro. They don't work. You know, I'm going through this channel right here with my mic. If I turn this thing down, you can still hear me. I can still hear myself. They're not functioning because I don't have this set up as a controller through Logic, and actually Logic doesn't even recognize it as a controller. So it's not going to mess with my fades in Logic or anything. It's all I'm doing really is plugging in, and then everything's going through Logic Pro. So if I wanted to turn this channel down, I'd have to go in Logic Pro, channel 2, and then turn it down. All right, so here's the more interesting part. When you want to set it up as a standalone recorder, it's pretty easy. So what you got here is you got 8 tracks here, right? All these black knobs are different tracks. So you could set, for instance, all your drum mics into 1 through 8, or 1 through 7 rather, because you always want to kind of play with a guitar player there. Your drummer does anyways. Record those, and then when they're set, right? So then you would hit 9 through 16 here, this little button. It says 9 through 16. I know you guys can't see it. And then this 1 now becomes 9 all the way through 16. And then when you record drums, guitar, keyboards, or whatever, if you want to get on into vocals or whatever else you want to put on, you say you need 24 tracks, you'll go ahead and push this button, and then this becomes 17 through 24. So it's a nice little way they set it up there. But how I normally do it, I don't use any of the drum pads here. I just don't use them. I mean, they're not bad, but I just don't. The little screen here isn't the best, but it's not bad either. I mean, you can see what you want to do with it and everything. How you're gonna record is basically you'll set these up. I can't turn it on as a standalone because my vocals are going to this thing right now. So, but when you turn this thing on into standalone mode, okay, this will turn green or red. And when it's in green, a green light, so you'll push this and a green light will come on. That means it's in playback mode. So whatever you did record on this is now going to be played back. It's not going to record. If you want to record and set to record each track, you'll just tap the knob until this little red light comes on. A little red light there will come on. And then at that point, when you're ready to go, I always do this. I always hit stop, rewind to the beginning, and then hit record. And then it's going to be armed. A red light's going to come on there. And then when you're ready to record, you'll hit play. And then you can start recording. There's a lot of other little stuff in here you can do. You can set a metronome and all that stuff. Basically, it's real simple. All you got to do is hit tool. You'll scroll through the little menu and find out whatever you want. Okay? There's the EQ here. So if you hit the EQ button, it'll give you all these little functions here like pan, EQ high, EQ mid, EQ low, reverb, chorus, fader, stereo link, all that stuff. It's self-explanatory. All the videos I've seen on this was just very too much in detail, and you don't really need to know all that shit because you just want to plug in and record, hopefully. And, you know, myself, I'm not really the tech spec geek, so I don't really care about... I just need it to do basic functions, and that's what I wanted it to do. So, simple process here. Turn this thing on. There's a switch in the back. It's also battery powered. It's also got a 5-volt, 1 amp plug for the wall if you don't want to rely on battery power. When you turn it on, you plug your microphone in, your guitar in, whatever. Set whatever track you want to record. So I'll hit until it turns red. Put my guitar on till it turns red. My microphone till it turns red. And when everything's ready to go, I'll hit record. Now you can set a metronome so you can play your guitar if you don't have a drummer or whatever. You can play to the metronome. Then when you're done, you'll push stop. Okay, then you'll click the back button, so it'll go all the way back to the beginning of the song. And then you're going to take these knobs and turn them to the green light. And then you'll hit play, and then you'll be able to hear back what you recorded. Now, I find this useful because when you go back, and then you can play again on your second set of tracks, your what I call second recording, over what you already recorded. So, for instance, let's just use this. Say I had my guitar, my vocals, and keyboards here. So we were all three playing. You know, my singer was here, my guitar player was here, and the keyboardist was here. And we were all playing to a metronome click track, right? Plug it in, click all three of those to red. I always do it because you don't want to start off in the middle somewhere. I'll hold down stop and click this rewind button. It'll go back to the beginning. And then I'll click record. That light there, there's a little switch there. It'll turn red. And then play. And then it's going to start recording. This is where you'll kind of control your gain knobs. So, for instance, I'm right here now. It's loud. Now I'm going to go. And if this gets to the red, just a warning for you headphone users out there, it's going to get loud. All right, you can notice that this will start clipping, and if it gets to the red here, there it goes. See it's in the red. It'll be a little blinking light here that it's clipping. So what you want to do is roll that back off to like the sweet spot, and that's what those are for. So you always want to make sure that you're not clipping anywhere, and a little red light will flash here if you are, and then you're going to want to roll that back down. There's an SD card that comes in here, so all the recordings will go on an SD card, which is nice. And you plug that into your computer, and you can drop each individual track, which is what I do. I never edit in this thing. It's just too crazy. I just take that SD card out, flick it into Logic Pro. Each track is recorded individually. Then I can edit and master in Logic Pro or whatever recording suite you use. Whether that be Pro Tools, Logic Pro, Mixcraft, whatever you got. Your guitarist will have his own track, your keyboardist and your vocalist. You can dump those individually into your recording software, and then you got more. You can't beat the interface on a computer. Nothing. No matter what audio interface or recording thing you have, it's never going to beat what's on the computer. So just take that SD card out when you're done recording, flick it into Logic Pro, and then you can put your garage drum bands or whatever, your garage band drums that are in there over what you guys recorded, because you recorded to a click track. So you're all in time. So all you got to do is say if you were recording to a 120 beats per minute, you flick that SD card into your computer at home, and then you get a drummer, set it to 120 beats per minute, and then you got you a drum track. Instead of over here trying to go boom, boom, tsh, boom, boom. I mean, trust me, it's a pain in the ass. So don't even worry with that. Same thing with all this stuff. The effects, the EQ and all that. Seriously, from my experience, just leave it alone. Drop whatever you have recorded already into Logic Pro later, and then you got your tracks. The reason it's good to have a standalone device like this is because it's not going to lag out like when you're going through an audio interface at home, where you run the risk of your computer dropping or whatever, and then your guitarist could have just performed a really sweet solo, and then the computer froze, and now that's lost. Not with this, okay? I mean, it could happen, but it's slim to none. Just record everything on this baby, and then flick it into whatever recording software you use. So now let's say, for instance, we had our guitarist. Okay, there are. Oh yeah, by the way, there are guitar effects like distortion and all that stuff in this. And if you wanted to use that, you'd plug your electric guitar directly into channel 1, flick this high Z switch on, and then you'll go into put your guitar in. And how you do that is you just go to effects, and then you'll scroll through. I mean, it's not real complicated, guys. Okay, you'll pick whatever guitar amps or distortion you want. I'm not going to go through it because you can't really see it right here, but it's all self-explanatory. Okay, but again, the best thing would be to do is to just record your guitar, your electric guitar acoustically, right? And get a clean signal through channel 1, and then dump that track into Logic Pro or whatever you use, and then you got your good distortion sounds in the program, and in Logic Pro or whatever. It's probably way better, the sounds, than what you're going to get out of this. Anyways, okay? But if you have like a guitar foot pedal or something, then of course you can go ahead and record your distortion through here, and that'll be fine. I believe if you plug a foot pedal through here, you don't need to have this high Z switch on. You can go ahead and flick that back off. So let's say now, track 1, 2, and 3. You had your guitar, your singer, and keyboardist. That's been recorded. Now your drummer at home has a drum kit that's fully mic'd. So he's going to want to record over what you guys recorded, because you all recorded to the click track that's in here at 120 beats per minute. So at this point, you're going to go ahead, stop, hold down stop, click the rewind, and you'll go back to the beginning of the song. Turn all 3 of these lights to green so that they're in playback mode. And then at this point, you're going to hit 9 through 16. So that's going to change 1 through 8 to now it's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Now you can plug in all your drum mics, okay, and watch the levels, especially on drums. You're going to want to watch those peaks here. So if these red little blinker lights up here get red, you're going to want to go ahead and roll that back until they're not peaking. And on drums, I mean, it's going to be, the gain is going to be really low, okay, somewhere around there. And then arm all 9 through 16, all those drum mics. Make sure these lights here turn red. Go ahead, just to make sure, hold down stop, rewind, and then hit record. The little light here, this is the record button. A little light there is on the record button. It'll turn red. That means it's armed for recording. So are all these. They're all red. And then hit play. And then your drummer can start playing over those guitar pieces. He can either leave the metronome on that you guys recorded to, or he can turn it off. It's up to him. Then when it's over, push stop, hold down stop, click the rewind button, and then you'll go back to the beginning. And then at this point, save it. And how you're going to save it is, you're going to stop, go back to the beginning, and then you're going to hit this project key here. And then you can go through there and it'll say on there, once you hit project, save, you can type in a name. It's done, and then you have all 16 tracks. All the mics, the 1 tom, 2 tom, floor tom, bass kick, snare, 2 overheads. Then you got your guitars, you got your singer, you got your keyboardist. All those tracks you can then put into your recording software at home, and then you can edit in Logic Pro. And it's, look, I always recommend editing and stuff on the computer. I just don't really recommend recording all that information into the computer at once, because chances are it'll lag or it'll skip or whatever, and it's a headache. So picking up a device like this is quite nice. The Zoom R16 is the same as this, basically. I think there's a few things you don't get with the R16, like the 8 extra tracks, but other stuff, and I'm not quite sure what it is, so I'm not going to comment on it. But anyways, that's all it is, guys. And then, like I said, plug that SD card into the computer, edit your files. If you want more tracks, that's fine. Take the SD card out, put it back in here, load the track up, and record again as a standalone device the extra parts of the song you want to record, and then put that back in the computer and edit it there. And that is really all I got to say about that. And I know, look, if there's any more questions that you guys have about the R24, then just shoot me up or hit me a comment in the comments below, and I'll be glad to go ahead and elaborate on something. I just wanted to give an overview on how the thing kind of works, and you don't need to be like a techspert or whatever to use this thing. It's just quite simple. It's really quite simple. So just an overview again. It's an audio interface. All you got to do is take the USB, plug it in the computer. A little message here will come up. Do you want to make this an audio interface? Click OK. This will be the button you'll click here. These are the little directional pads, up, down. Click OK. And you're in audio interface mode. Just make sure you have the driver on your computer. If you want to use it as a standalone device, don't hook in the USB, obviously. There's a switch on the back. Turn it on. It'll load up either through batteries. It takes 6 AA batteries, or you can use a 5-volt, 1 amp adapter for the wall. And then you run through the routine that I said. When you click these and they turn green, it's playback. If you click it until it turns red, it's record mode. Always hold down stop. Click the rewind button to go back to the beginning of the track. Hit record, play. Now it's recording. And that's really it. Watch your levels. Make sure they're not clipping. If they do clip, roll this back a little bit. And then when you recorded your guitars, your bass, your singer, your keyboards, then you can push stop, rewind, click 9 through 16. Now these are 9 through 16. You can hook your drum mics in. He can record over what you guys recorded to. Just make sure that you record to a metronome, obviously. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to do the beat to your song. But how I normally do it is I always put one guitar in the track 1, and then I'll hook the drum mics in the rest of the tracks here. And then he'll record to me. We'll record to each other, and then the song will turn out. It'll just feel more like live. It won't feel so computerized by playing like with a metronome. And there's just more, I feel like there's more feel to it. And then when you're done, you'll go stop back. Then you'll get to 9 through 16. Then you can start laying keys on and vocals and all that stuff later. But I always find it's better to record the drummer and the guitar player by themselves. And then if the guitar player wants later, he can go back, do another track, record another guitar part. Then y'all can edit that later in Logic and do stereo, whatever you want to do with the guitars. You'll have 2 guitar recordings. You can pan one left, one right, and then you got a stereo guitar sound. You can plug your guitar into your foot pedal, put your foot pedal into track 1, then you don't need the high Z, okay? But I think it's better if you just record acoustically, your electric acoustically, and then you can add effects later. Unless you have a real nice Marshall stack or whatever, and you got a nice SM58 or something to record that with, then you'll want to do that clean signal in, because then you can add whatever effects later you want to a nice clean signal. But anyways, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or anything, or if you want to know more about the R24, this is really like a test video, so to see if there's any interest in the R24 these days, because I'm not sure if there is. So if there is, then yeah, I'll be glad to make a second part and go in more details if you want. But I mean, in reality, that's all you really need to know. And it's a great little machine. I mean, it's awesome. You can use it for everything. So anyways, thanks for watching, and check you guys out later. Check out my other videos if you want, and don't forget to subscribe and like. All right. Check you guys out later. Bye.